With us now is Mike DelGuidice, and he was a guest on my show probably 8 years ago. Who's counting? But he's here with us now at Oheka Castle. Hello, my friend. It's good to see you.
It's great to see you too. Great to see you too.
I mean, I've enjoyed watching your career blossom so far. I know you're not done yet, obviously, but good for you. Good for you. When you first came
with
on
that lightning outside before, I was starting to get worried that it was all going to end out there.
Man, we originally met, you were doing Big Shot, but you also had another, I guess, thing that you were doing where you were doing more of, you were a solo artist.
Yeah.
And I saw you one night at St. Anthony's High School.
Okay.
And you were raising money, I guess, for them. And what is the connection between you early on in your career and actually helping and giving back to so many different things that you've done?
I think the key is just to always keep it, is to stay planted and to realize that, no matter how good things could be going in my career or in my life, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going the same way for other people. So it's just keeping that concept in your head and realizing that you always got to try to care at least. If you have nothing to give, we'll show you care. You know what I mean? Just anything to just put yourself out there and to realize that, we have it good. Even when it's bad, it's good. And, getting that realization in your own head is the start of that. And then, just, Long Island, there's so many different, people on Long Island that just love to give back always, and it's a good place to be. It's where we should be.
Did your mom's name start with a J?
Josie, yeah.
Okay. Tell me about your connection with your mom.
Difficult connection, but she was one of the most unique and funny women you'd ever meet. But in her own, she suffered a lot from depression and all that stuff. So it was an interesting childhood, to say the least. But always, she could always come to me for anything. I could always go to her for anything, and it was tough. She passed 2 years ago, so that was tough. But when I look back on growing up with her, and it wasn't always easy. Things were. She was tough. She was a tough mom.
Do you feel though that in a way that, because I heard a song that you had written for her and about her, and do you feel sometimes that having the mom that you had helped prepare you best for the challenges that you face now as a professional musician at the level that you're performing at? Because there's a lot of things that happen. You're on the road, right? There's a lot of things that happen.
Yeah, she was, there's two ways to be raised, I guess. And, one is where it's like the iron fist over you and that kind of thing. And then there's the parents that will raise you to be free and to do the things and pursue what you wanted to pursue. I had more of that from my parents, which was helpful. But my mom was a tough lady, so I learned a lot from her as far as, not taking stuff necessarily from anyone and making sure that, it's okay to say no. A lot of times my nature, it's just, sure. Before you know it, the weight of the world is on your shoulders.
It's
and you
not in your best interest, right?
You just whatever. No, but my father too, he's just a great man, and very patient and very supportive, always very supportive. My dad always, top notch. So, but they were both very good about not forcing me to go the way that everyone else went. I was a pretty intelligent kid, but I just didn't like school. So I knew I wasn't going that way, and I've kind of been on a mission ever since to help people that don't go that way, and to, school systems felt to me like early on, at least when we were younger, felt very geared toward the people that were going to go that route. But there were a lot of kids that weren't going to go that route.
Right.
And, but yet they were some of the smartest kids I've ever talked to or ever spoke with. So it was more about not conforming, I guess, and having an issue, now it's all ADD, ADHD, and,
Now there's all these terms for it.
All these terms for it, but,
I was just say, colors outside of the box well.
Yes,
exactly.
Yeah. If whatever they're saying, we had it.
Yeah.
We had it.
We have all of that.
Yeah, so.
I like the quiet confidence that you have now about you. It's like a savory presence about you, where before I think you were more high-wired, maybe, And now it seems like you're more serene.
Yeah, I think it's an overall. I'm just hard on. I'm very particularly hard on myself.
Okay.
So a lot of things happen in my brain to get through the kind of career that I have, because you have to exude confidence in order to get on stage in front of people and whatever. And I was a shy kid. I wasn't. I knew I wanted to do music because I think that music I felt accepted in school, especially. We do a talent show, a bunch of kids scream, and you're like, okay, I could fit in here at least, even though I don't fit in on a normal basis. So it was kind of strange. So, but that's how it kind of was. And for me, yeah, I was definitely more reserved and shy. So it takes a bit of acting to break through that, almost, And
Is that why also your instrument is like your friend?
Yeah, it's my whoopee.
Yeah.
I like to have a guitar in front of me or a keyboard or drums, anything that's just covering me, so nobody can see me. That's kind of. And then I get the gig with Billy, and now I'm out in front with a guitar in my hand, standing and playing, which was, a little different from, I played bass many times in the past and sang, and I was comfortable behind a bass, but the guitar gig I ended up getting, and actually more singing than I do anything with Billy. But
Billy Joel, you went from someone that you admired to someone that's now your friend.
Yeah, he's kind of like a musical father in a sense. He's very takes care of everybody. He's a really good dude and cares about everyone around him. His whole crew. I mean, he paid us during COVID. We didn't work for a year. He just took care of us. It's just, that kind of.
Yeah. Speaking of COVID, I was able to listen to you. I think I might even caught one of your first times you did the thing up from your porch.
Yeah.
Early on you said, I got to do something. And a lot of musicians needed to that. They have to express themselves.
Of course.
They've got to find that outlet.
Yeah. If we don't have music, what do we have? In that sense. We have family or whatever, but we're geared to work, and we're geared to be to do what we're passionate about. So it was just finding a way to get creative during a time that was really hard. And I had already started, thank God, I'd already started that porch thing way before COVID. I started in 2016 or 17 as something I did up here in New York a few times. So it's kind of like resurrecting it a little bit during that. But it gave me a little bit of a jump ahead of feeling comfortable doing it, because otherwise I probably wouldn't have been as comfortable doing it. But like I said, I'm my worst critic. So people, you sounded good. And I'm like, all I hear in the course of a night is what I do wrong.
Oh, gosh.
So I micromanage myself to death sometimes, to the point where I don't enjoy it sometimes, because I'm just so
in it.
God, you stink. It's all I tell myself. That was terrible. That was so.
Guess what?
It's a whole
whole
micromanaging.
I'm like 6 feet away from you. You don't smell at all. Not even. No, you're funny. You are a good dad. You really put yourself out there on the stage, night after night, just leaving it all out there.
Yeah.
And I think that's why you have continued to have a fan base. You have new fans all over the world. Now you took the porch thing though, and you upped your game a little bit. You're going to be doing recording and presenting that material.
Yeah. It was nice because it was a way to get a sense of my own identity as far as I've been writing music for as long as I've been playing cover music. But you just get pigeonholed, and you get, kind of stuck in that realm of, you got to earn a living. You got to do what you got to do. And as nice as it is to be creative and to do all that stuff, it doesn't always pay the bills. So it's finding the time and the balance to do both. And doing the Live on the Porch was a way for me to break away, in a sense, from the Billy persona thing, and to just be able to play my own stuff and not have to worry about filling up a room, with people buying tickets to hear they were forced to now. And I didn't have to watch them hate it, because I was just staring at a computer screen, watching comments and getting to listen to what they actually thought, which was really cool about COVID, was in that regard during that time period, was when you play in front of a live audience, you get the energy because they're doing this, you could see energy. You don't know what they're thinking. So you could still get in your own head and be like, man, I'm just not bringing it tonight, or I'm just not, But when I was doing Live on the Porch, I was watching comments and reading their thoughts, which is a whole nother level of connection that we don't usually get as entertainers. So it added a nice balance, and I think it'll help me in the long run to put a more positive spin on what I do in my own head and not destroy myself as bad as I do sometimes.
Sometimes we are our own worst critics.
Yeah.
Like I grew up thinking that my nose was too big and I didn't like the space between my teeth.
Look at this thing.
You know, and it held me back for the longest
Okay.
time. And then one day, like, so my TV show, Mike was divinely gifted. I was sleeping and I dreamt the whole thing in color, December of 2008. And I woke up and I was like, what was that? Started writing down everything that I could remember. Much like people tell me that they sometimes get song lyrics. It's just like a download that happens through your whole body.
Yeah.
And I don't know what gives me the confidence, but sometimes myself, I'll be like, sometimes I'll be like, we're not airing that segment, you know, like my back is ridiculous, or I don't like this, or my hair is all fuzzy. It happens sometimes. And I think that happens maybe to all people at one time or another, where we just don't feel so confident. What's one tip that you help yourself with to get that confidence? Like, is there a tip that you go through or a process?
It's really hard because, like I said, the battle is on.
Okay.
In my mind, it's really hard to get to that place. A lot of nights I'm just happy to get through the gig, and when it's over, then I can think back about how the gig went. But a lot of times during the gig, it's just making sure I'm doing it well, and then there's the whole sense of, you know, you're an entertainer too. It's not just about how well am I playing that night, how well am I singing, you know. It's about is the audience, am I giving them a show also? And when you get inside of your own head in a bad way, I'll tend to close my eyes and kind of go off in, which is not always the best. So I think the main thing would be to realize that the way people hear you is not the way you hear yourself. And you just have to, I guess at some point, trust that they're not all stupid for liking you, you know, and like,
right, they can't all be wrong,
I guess, right? Yeah, you know.
Somewhere
in my head they're all wrong, so it's you know.
You know, you like me, you really like me, right?
Yeah, is it okay? You know?
Is it okay? Am I doing okay?
Exactly. Yeah, so it's about pushing through. Really, it's about pushing through and realizing that not everything we think is reality, you know, and
I think from an audience standpoint, sometimes the reason that they will go see you perform, I don't want to get teary, is because they want to forget about their problems for a little while.
Yeah.
They want to take the focus off themselves, and they want to hide. And in that dark audience, you know, for that 90 minutes, they get to just be in that space with you, right? And so it's nice that they were able to write you comments and that you were able to read them, because there is a synergy between the audience and that performer.
Absolutely.
Right? It's like an energy.
And without
it's like
knowing
tangible.
what they think, it could be misinterpreted through our own insecurities. You know,
I think they like you, though.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure they do.
I'm grateful to.
And I've been trying over the last couple of years, ever since, you know, the success kept growing and growing and growing, to have you back on. And when I knew you were coming today, I said, oh, well, now might be our opportunity. You know, it's also trying to find the time for the things you really want to do.
Yeah.
Because sometimes your time gets so scheduled out. But you did do something with the Sealies. You know, they did that whole thing where it was
the virtual We Are the World.
Yeah, virtual We Are the World, putting all the different pieces together.
Yeah.
What was your experience like working with that?
That was really cool. I got a call from Adam, and you know, he said, "Which ones would you like to do?" I said, "Well, all I ever did was Billy, so I don't want to do the Billy parts."
Okay.
I just said either the Steve Perry part or I think it was maybe Ray Charles on one of them, or Stevie Wonder. But Tommy Bose came in and just killed that. He did it great. But it was fun. It was interesting. It was great watching the finished product and seeing all the talent on Long Island. Just everybody putting their best foot forward to, you know, to bring a little cheer. And that's really what we do. It's what comedians do. It's you know, bring a little, you know, lightheartedness to this journey, because this journey is not easy.
No, and sometimes it gets more and more difficult.
Yeah.
Now when I tell people I have a television show that's all good news, I actually get thank you. Like before, they used to look at me like, oh, okay, ha ha ha, that's really nice, Don, whatever.
Right.
Now I get, oh, thank you. When's that on? When can I see it? And I was like, oh, great. I'm in service. I'm in service.
When you feel you've affected people in the right way, and you get that feedback, it's important.
Now I know that's why you're here today as well. So we're here today at the Big Daddy Celebrity Golf Classic, and just spending some time making a difference, raising money for two great children's charities.
Yep.
Kids Need More and Pop Earth.
Yep.
I know kids have a special place in your heart.
Yeah.
Okay. At what age did you realize that you could do something? Like maybe your friend didn't have it as good as you had it, or, you know, What was that moment for you personally? You decided, you know what, I want to help my friend, or was it fixing their bike? Like, what was it for you? Because every kid has that moment where they're like, oh, you know, like my neighbor is maybe doesn't have it. Good.
Right. I think the main thing is just is the emotional level that people battle, and people are always battling on an emotional level that you don't see. So I think just being nice to people. It's just so simple. Sometimes it's not, because you're in your own world, and you see someone walking towards you, and you have two choices. It's either like head on, yeah, let me go say hello. Oh my God, gonna walk in the other direction, and because I just feel miserable today, and so
it's a song, walk on by.
Yeah, exactly. Just do a little one of these, But I think it's just, there's no better feeling than helping somebody else. That's really what it is. There was a bunch of times that I went over to Stony Brook Hospital with Mark Klein, and Mark, and we played for some of the kids that were battling, dying. A lot of them were flat out dying right in front of you, and that was hard. You go in room to room, and you really get to see the pain, but you realized even in the moment to get kids suffering through chemo and everything is having the worst reaction, and all of a sudden just a littlest smile comes out, and you're like, if that was what it was for, then that's what it was for. And most of the time in those situations, the sadder part was watching the parents. Yeah. The kids had a way of barreling through it and dealing with it, but the parents just, to be a parent and watch your kid suffer in any way is,
it's heartbreaking.
It's the most, unimaginable thing. So.
Well, on that note, I thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
We never know how an interview is going to go, whether it's going to be like lighthearted or serious, but I liked the tone of this conversation, and I know that it's really going to help people. So thank you for that.
No, I appreciate you having me.
Yeah.
It's good to see you again.
And when I hear you perform, you'll hear me singing, because I know a lot of the lyrics, but I want to learn your new songs.
Yes.
So I'll have to stay tuned.
Yeah, lots of new stuff coming out.
Lots of new stuff. Yeah. Thank you, Mike.
All right. Thanks, Don.
Stay tuned for more. We've been living it up. I'm Donna Drake, and we've been visiting with Mike DelGuidice. Thank you for watching.